Learfield presentation of the Oregon Sports Network.
And Oregon is going to play in the national championship game.
This is Duck Insider.
These are good problems to have, right? So much success that you have more than one place to be.
5-3, touchdown, Oregon.
Off a dribble, launches, and hits the three. Oregon leads.
What a great opportunity it is to be able to play at University of Oregon.
I'm just incredibly proud to be a part of something like this.
She wants another three. Oh, three in a row.
Big Ten champions.
National champions, yes. The Ducks take home an indoor national title.
We are so privileged and so fortunate. We get to see all these young people. We get to see this incredible growth, which is what college is all about.
This is Duck Insider on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield, presented by OnPoint Community Credit Union. People are the point. Now let's go live to the Country Financial Studio to talk Oregon Duck Athletics.
Baseball game day again after a win against St. Mary's last night. The Big Ten softball tournament is underway. Oregon softball will play tomorrow at 1:30 against the winner of Wisconsin and Michigan. That game in action today. So if you're listening to Duck Insider a little bit later on, you may know the outcome. But as we're live in the 1 o'clock hour, I don't know who the Ducks are going to play at 1:30 tomorrow, but I can tell you that the Ducks will be ready. This is a fun softball team to watch right now. Looks like Oregon's in line to host a regional coming up next week. First, though, take care of business in the Big Ten tournament. Ducks would love to be a national seed. I think that Oregon has earned the right to be a national seed. What I mean by that is not just in the top 16 where you host a regional, but also in the top 8 where you could host a super regional should you advance out of your regional round. I think the Ducks have put together that kind of resume, and that's a real testament to the Big Ten champion Oregon softball team. Lineup is balanced. They've got a variety of veterans and young stars that have been outstanding. Pitching's been deep. I think Coach Lombardi should be real proud at this point in the season, and they would tell you, they'd be the first to say, not done yet. So the Big Ten softball tournament gets underway today, is underway as we speak here in the 1 o'clock hour, and Oregon softball will play tomorrow at 1:30. Tonight, Oregon baseball at 6 o'clock after last night's win. It is game day against St. Mary's, a 2-game midweek series. There's only 4 regular season games left at PK Park, if you can believe it. Only 4 regular season home games. Regular season home games. Oregon baseball starting to show up as a regional host in some of those projections, and a 6-3 win last night will certainly help you. Ducks got down 2-0 before they came to the plate last night, and then Anson Arrows hit his 3rd home run in the last 4 games to give Oregon a 3-run lead. And the way that he got to the plate in the first, Drew Smith works a full count, earns a walk, puts the bat in Anson Arrows' hands. He actually hit a home run last night with 2 strikes and did not get all of it. Had to reach for the ball to hit it out of the ballpark. You know, those are the sorts of things in a baseball game. That 2-out walk that gets a guy to the plate. Huge difference maker. We'll talk more about baseball coming up. Tickets are almost sold out for next Monday's WNBA exhibition at Matthew Knight Arena. Go to GoDucks.com. If you're like, oh, I don't know, I've been thinking about it, maybe I'll go day of. I'm telling you, there might not be tickets at the box office if you go to Matthew Knight Arena day of. The New York Liberty are in town. We will have a broadcast on the Oregon Sports Network. Looking forward to hearing Chris Clayton and Bev Smith on the call from an Oregon perspective of this Liberty versus Toyota Antelopes matchup. It's such a cool endeavor that the WNBA is doing. We've seen it now a couple times prior, where the WNBA goes to a college campus, returns to the gym. As you can imagine, a star player might be involved. Well, in this case, it's 2. You get Nyara Sabali and Sabrina Ionescu coming back to Matthew Knight Arena. Such a special place for both of them, and a chance for a tune-up in a WNBA game. And the Liberty's got a stacked roster heading into next year for their season, which is now in the preparation mode here coming up. So I'll tell you, I am so thrilled that this is happening at Matthew Knight Arena. You know, there's concerts at Matthew Knight Arena. There's so many other events that happen beyond Oregon athletics at that venue in particular. This one's special. I hope that everyone just has a great time. Chris Clayton and Bev Smith will have a broadcast. They're going to talk with Kelly Graves, going to talk with Sabrina Ionescu, going to talk with Nyara Sabali. Just really fun stuff at Matthew Knight Arena coming up. 7 o'clock tip-off, 6:30 pregame across the Oregon Sports Network on Monday for that special edition of Oregon basketball. Because that's what it feels like. It almost feels like the New York Liberty now are kind of like the extension pro team. And until there's a WNBA team in Portland here soon, like, I got to tell you, like, I rooted for the Liberty. I mean, how do you not? Like, you get those pro-Duck connections. Yeah, so we'll have that Oregon-centric broadcast on the Oregon Sports Network with Chris Clayton, Bev Smith on the call. Tickets are almost sold out. Go to GoDucks.com if you're interested in joining the fun here coming up. On today's show, we will also talk softball with Saul Galvan. He is the voice of the Duck softball team, is a junior here at the University of Oregon, the assistant sports director at KWVA, one of our OSN broadcast intern extraordinaires. Saul actually sat down with us yesterday, right after he took a midterm, came in, sat in the chair, previewed the softball tournament that is not just important for Oregon for postseason, but I think anytime you can win another Big Ten title, that's valuable. Because remember, this would be the 7th Big Ten title for the Ducks. The regular season is one. Could have another here coming up. The Big Ten softball tournament going on. Saul Galvan, who has the call on KWVA for all of these postseason games. We'll chat with him coming up in just a little while. And then our fabulous video crew put together their review of the Oregon football spring game. We've been able to chew on it a bit now. Some of the big takeaways. We can relive it a little bit today. We'll have that for you on the show here coming up. All right. Baseball last night. Shout out to Ian Umlaut, man. The guy from Sherwood, he just continues to turn in great outings. So we begin in the first inning. Toby Twist, back for the first time since March of last year, where he had worked his way into the rotation for the Ducks. Went down with an injury, returned to face St. Mary's in his first game action last night. Ducks wanted him to start. I talked to Mark Wasikowski about this. He said they wanted him to start rather than coming out of the bullpen. Just a little different routine. The build-up seems to go better for a guy who was facing live hitters for like the 4th or 5th time here last night. First time in a game scenario. He went in and gave up a couple of runs. Started the game off with a strikeout of the best hitter in the WCC. Eddie Madrigal is in first place in like almost every offensive category as an individual in the WCC, and Toby Twist struck him out. And I thought to myself, like, okay, it's another lefty that you could add to the bullpen down the stretch for the Ducks. And so this is part of the process with him coming back, gave up a couple runs after that. He threw 20 pitches in the first inning. All right, got his first outing. Now what does he do here the rest of the way? How's the recovery go? I'm excited to see what Toby Twist can bring to the table. It could be a fun storyline here down the stretch. But then you hand the ball to Ian Umlaut, who started a lot of these midweek games for the Ducks. He's now 5-1 on the season. Went 6 2/3, gave up 5 hits, 1 run. He walked 1 and struck out 2. He threw 89 pitches, 62 of them were strikes. Ian Umlaut doesn't have this, like, blow you away 100-mile-an-hour fastball. He just pitches. It is so fun to watch an Oregonian like that who just competes and now has a 1.89 ERA on the season. He just wins. You know, give up a few hits, but he just wins. Ian Umlaut went 6 2/3, earned the win. Cole Stokes faced 2 hitters, hit one of them, but did get an out. And then Santiago Garcia starting to really settle in the back end of the bullpen. The lefty's been real good his last few outings. Earned his 3rd save of the season. Ducks end up winning 6-3. Anson Arrows hits the big home run. Mason Neville hit his 24th home run of the season. And then how about this? It was the 100th career start for Drew Smith. A career 300-plus hitter. And what does Drew Smith do for the first time, though, last night? He starts in center field. 100th career start, first ever in center field. Ducks have had Mason Neville DHing the last 4 games now, changing the lineup around a little bit, particularly defensively. Drew Smith plays center field and did it well. You know, that you never look. Mark Wasikowski, I've talked to him about this. Like, I've asked him, you know, hey, good opportunity for Drew. And he'd say, well, yes, but I'd like to have everybody healthy. Certainly, you want to have everybody healthy. However, how many times have we now talked about position versatility? Drew Smith was played second. He's played third. He's played right. Now he's played center. Can play anywhere. Anson Arrows came in as a catcher. Now he's an outfielder. I mean, that position versatility, you need it. You need it down the stretch. Because you never know what's going to happen over the course of a season. It's never the same starting 9 on opening day as the last game of the season. It's never the same starting 9 the last game of the season as it is on opening day. This Duck baseball team, down the stretch, hunting for a Big Ten title, chance for a little bit of momentum here tonight. 6 o'clock first pitch at PK Park. Supposed to be a nice evening for baseball. 5:45, our pregame show gets rolling across the Oregon Sports Network. Mark Wasikowski met with the media after the game last night, breaking down what he saw in the Ducks' 6-3 win over St. Mary's.
5 games this week. You get the first one. Just thoughts on the 6-3 win.
1-0, clean game. Tremendous defense by Carter Garrotti. Had some clutch swings by Mason DeVille. Another home run and a sac fly was tremendous. And then just some other good situational type at-bats to be able to score guys. The bullpen I thought was really good to be able to go Stokes to Santiago after, Umlaut did his job. Great to have the lefty out there too, Toby Twist, getting the ball, first time after an injury and getting him back in the mix. I think it's going to be really helpful moving down the stretch.
What was his reaction to kind of finding out that he was going to get to see the mound for the first time this season?
Well, he's been seeing the mound in all of our scrimmages and stuff like that, so it's not, just in a game, his reaction probably, he was pretty excited, right? I can just imagine, you go through a deal where you can't pitch for a long time, and then you get a chance to pitch, probably pretty excited.
What would you like from the guys who were in different spots today, Drew in center field, Parker in right field, and Cohen at catcher?
Well, Cohen did a nice job behind the plate, got a good swing off early in the game for a double. I think he scored later after that. Parker did well when we were at Michigan State. He had 3 at-bats, 2 of them were really good, and so I really wanted to see a little bit more Parker. And who was the other guy you said?
Just Drew in center field, a different spot for him.
Yeah, those guys are all interchangeable in the outfit. I don't really care who plays where. Drew's fast, he can run ball down, and he's just been a really good player for us.
Mason DH in the last 4 games was still being productive. What kind of went into the role change there?
That's something I don't want to get into.
Overall, Toby gets roughed up a little bit, but strikes out the first guy he faces. Was kind of the plan to go an inning? Was it a pitch count thing?
It was just a straight pitch count thing with Toby. First time out on the mound.
Anson's really starting to get hot. Homers in his last 3. How different is this team when he's hitting?
Well, we need to get the offense really going. We didn't really swing the bat great tonight. Maybe tomorrow will be the night. I don't know. Maybe a little bit of a hangover from, long trip getting back from Michigan, East Coast time zone, and now we play on a Tuesday right quick. I don't know. I hope that's probably the case, and one more night of sleep, and we'll see the best version of us tomorrow offensively. But I thought we played well, and it's a good win.
Made some nice defensive plays. Carter had one, Jacob had one, Ryan had a couple. How does being good on defense help you on maybe not swinging the bat as well as you?
Well, that's tremendous. You got to keep the runs off the board too, and Carter did that at the end of the game. Jacob with that play, at the end of the game to be able to go with a 3 double play on their best hitter, Madrigal. That was huge. He's so good over at first base. Jacob Walsh is. And the defense was spot on tonight.
You have a lot of respect for West Coast teams. What does it mean?
Yeah, they're good. Yeah, people don't get it. Like there's really good baseball on the West Coast, and they grumble about RPI and this, that, and the other, and you just go shoot. These guys, every club that we've played, I've heard about RPI this, RPI that, and yet 2 of the teams that we played in non-conference, we played 4 teams in non-conference, Oregon State one of them, and the other 3 teams were 2 teams that are winning their league. And our non-conference strength of schedule is now hanging around 10 in the country. I think that's a credit to a lot of West Coast schools. These guys are good, and they're hanging around the middle part of their league. It's hard out here on the West Coast, and there's really good people and really good players. And I think that's why the Southeastern Conference and maybe some of the other leagues have tried to hijack a lot of West Coast kids to go out there to that part of the country because they see how good the baseball is out here.
What is it specifically with West Coast baseball? Is it a different brand, or is it just?
I don't know. There's just a lot of good players. There's a lot of good teachers. Not saying there aren't in other parts of the country. Just know that, my career's been all over the country, I guess. But my time that I spent on the West Coast, I have a lot of respect for all the coaches out here. Coach Valenzuela for St. Mary's is a tremendous coach.
Mark Wasikowski talking there, and look, it speaks to a larger point from the Duck baseball head coach that the RPI, we know, it just doesn't reflect the full picture for the West Coast and for the Diamond Sports. It's just a geography spread out schedule thing. Your RPI is such that your strength of schedule matters, but if you can play these teams that are in your region, it ends up favoring densely populated geographic areas. And by densely populated, I mean there's a lot of schools that you can play around there. There's not a lot of D1 baseball schools within a 2-hour bus ride of the University of Oregon. And that's what happens with the RPI. So the RPI is not a perfect reflection of rankings. And to give you an idea, I mean, if you want to really break this down, like the team RPI right now, the live RPI is Texas, Georgia, Auburn, Arkansas, Vanderbilt. The top 5 are all in the SEC. Vanderbilt's 34-15 and 14-10 in conference. But that's because they're playing each other. So even when they take a loss, the RPI doesn't adjust. Then it's an ACC team, for example, in Florida State. Well, scroll down, and it's Oregon at number 24 with a 34-13 record. The Ducks have played a top 50 strength of schedule. Their non-conference RPI is actually 11. The non-conference RPI for the Ducks is 11 right now. The Ducks played the 19th toughest non-conference strength of schedule. Oregon's also 9-1 in what are considered quad 1 games. So it is an imperfect system. And I think that Mark Wasikowski brings up a great point about the West Coast. Now, in terms of who could host on the West Coast and what the breakdown of all that means, UCLA is in the mix. UC Irvine's in the mix. Oregon State's in the mix. Oregon's in the mix. If you will go a little bit further east into the desert, Arizona is in the mix. Those are the teams that may end up being the West Coast regional hosts. And I think the Ducks have as good of a resume as any of those. Oregon State's higher in the RPI than the Ducks because they've played a significant number of road games. That's part of the calculation, is how many you play on the road versus at home. Ducks beat them 4 times this year. Went 4-0. When we come back, we're going to zero in on some Ducks softball, preview the tournament, the Big Ten tournament for Oregon softball, coming up on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield.
As a local community credit union founded by teachers, OnPoint is committed to supporting the students and faculty at the University of Oregon. And on game day, we're right there with you, on the field, in the bleachers, and in the classrooms. Drop by our local branch today and discover the many ways OnPoint can help support your financial well-being. OnPoint Community Credit Union. People are the point. Federally insured by NCUA. Equal housing opportunity.
Hey Duck fans, at Country Financial, they make insurance easy. Whether you're shopping for home, auto, or more, their representatives will take the time to understand your specific needs and explain what options work best for you. Worry less and feel more confident knowing you're covered. Visit countryfinancial.com to get started today. Experience more with Country Financial. Auto and home insurance policies issued by Country Mutual Insurance Company, Country Preferred Insurance Company, and Country Casualty Insurance Company, Bloomington, Illinois.
Duck Insider, your home for the latest news on Oregon athletics on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield.
Hey, so what's a great way to spread awareness that driving high is illegal everywhere? A catchy song, of course.
You can run, but you can't drive high. You can run, but you can't.
Friendly reminder, don't drive high. If you feel different, you drive different. Brought to you by NHTSA and the Ad Council.
Are you prepared for an emergency or disaster? Because it's not a matter of if, but when. Don't find yourself saying,
when the storm rolls in, my time to find a pet-friendly evacuation center will have run out.
The scorching heat wave will leave me powerless to cool my insulin.
I'll face a hurricane without meds. Now that's a tough pill to swallow.
Let's prepare so we all have a better story to tell. Get started at ready.gov/older adults. Brought to you by FEMA and the Ad Council.
Stuck Insider, presented by OnPoint Community Credit Union. Joey Mack here with you inside the Country Financial Studio. I'll tell you what, Oregon softball has put together, you talk about Oregon's resume. Oregon softball has put together one heck of a resume so far. And the Big Ten tournament is underway, hosted by Purdue University. And, you know, the Ducks, let's just put it this way. It's nice that Oregon doesn't have to play today. Isn't that great? When you earn a bye in one of these tournaments, because Penn State, Iowa, the first game, Indiana, Washington, Wisconsin, Michigan, the winner plays the Ducks, Purdue, Northwestern, all coming up. So, you know, you look and you think about, okay, what's going to happen, all the scenarios for hosting and the resume. Well, here's the beauty of the Big Ten softball tournament. Single elimination. You keep winning, you get a chance to compete for another trophy. You lose, you go home, and then your fate's in the hands of the committee, right? Isn't it nice to just know for sure? Isn't it nice to just know for sure if you're going or not? Number 11, Penn State beat the 6th seed Iowa 6-2 this morning. And if you're live with us in the 1 o'clock hour, it looks like it's just now gone final. Indiana beat Washington 2-0. So the low seed is advancing. The 11 seed Penn State, the 10 seed Indiana. So that would bode well for Wisconsin to get the win over Michigan coming up. And the winner of this game this afternoon will face the Ducks with a 1:30 start time. Or excuse me, yeah, a 1:30 start time tomorrow. I'm converting everything from East Coast to Pacific time, and I still have to think about it. Like, okay, Purdue is Eastern time. Chicago is Central time. This came up as we discussed everything with Saul Galvan, who is going to have the call tomorrow on KWVA, the student radio station here at the University of Oregon. But just to give you some context now, 12 Purdue, the host, will play the number 5 seed Northwestern. And then tomorrow, now we know it'll be Nebraska and Penn State in the first game. UCLA gets Indiana instead of a UCLA-Washington matchup in the Big Ten tournament quarterfinals. Oregon gets the winner of Wisconsin and Michigan, and then Ohio State, the 4 seed, gets the winner of Purdue Northwestern. So we'll see how the bracket shapes up the rest of the day, who the Ducks will play, but Saul Galvan will have the call for you coming up. It's also, the entire tournament is televised on Big Ten Network. And to unpack for Oregon softball for just a moment, you know, I talk about those regional scenarios and hosting, and why the Ducks are here is in large part due to Kedri Lushar. This is now my campaign again for Kedri Lushar to be an All-American and be a potential winner of the National Player of the Year award. That's somebody who has developed, has been in the program a while, didn't have her best year last year. She gets to play with her sister and Kai, and now has seriously been Oregon's most consistent and in a lot of statistical categories best hitter. This is a Kedri Lushar fan club on Duck Insider today. I hope that Kedri Lushar gets honored for all kinds of awards because that's the kind of season that she's had. And the Lushar sisters, I mean, they're going to be remembered for a lot of things around Oregon softball because their names are all over the record book now. When we come back, we're going to talk with Saul Galvan. He'll have the call, the hometown broadcast on KWVA. We'll chat with him previewing some softball postseason next on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield.
With a great selection of new Toyotas, everyone knows your summer starts here at your Toyota dealer, even your pet parrot.
Right, the summer starts here.
Well said.
Dealer inventory may vary. See your participating Toyota dealer for details. Event ends June 2nd.
Toyota, let's go places.
As a local community credit union founded by teachers, OnPoint is committed to supporting the students and faculty at the University of Oregon. And on game day, we're right there with you, on the field, in the bleachers, and in the classrooms. Drop by our local branch today and discover the many ways OnPoint can help support your financial well-being. OnPoint Community Credit Union. People are the point. Federally insured by NCUA. Equal housing opportunity.
With a great selection of new Toyotas, everyone knows your summer starts here at your Toyota dealer, even your pet parrot.
Right, the summer starts here.
Well said.
Dealer inventory may vary. See your participating Toyota dealer for details. Event ends June 2nd.
Toyota, let's go places.
This is Duck Insider. Duck Insider on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield.
This is your captain. We are going to be experiencing some slight turbulence. Please fasten your... Oh, hold on. Just got a video of my cat.
Imagine the pilot of an airplane was as confident as you are texting and driving. Seems kind of crazy when you put it like that.
Visit StopTextStopWrecks.org. A message brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration, Project Yellow Light, and the Ad Council.
Comes to a gun suicide attempt, all it takes is a moment.
Heather and I had an argument just like any other couple. I was lost. I had snapped. I had a gun and I was going to take my own life. Heather helped me realize that there was still a life to live for the better of myself, my family. My weapon is now safely put away.
A moment of crisis can happen to anyone. Store your guns, locked, unloaded, and away from ammo. Hear more safe stories at endfamilyfire.org. Brought to you by Brady and the Ad Council.
Back on Duck Insider, presented by OnPoint Community Credit Union. Joey Mack here with you, talking Oregon softball now. Saul Galvan, he's been on the call for almost every Oregon softball game this season on KWVA. Student radio station does a great job on the hometown call for a number of Oregon sports, but especially for softball with Saul. It's been a fun ride for him. We got a chance to talk with him yesterday before he got on a flight and headed out with Oregon softball to the Big Ten tournament. Coming your way at 1:30 tomorrow, Oregon softball's in action, previewing it with Saul Galvan. He just took a midterm, aced it, then he's going to get on an airplane, and he's going to fly to call the Big Ten tournament for Oregon softball. Saul Galvan joining us, voice of the softball team. Had a good weekend on the call for KWVA, the student radio station here at the University of Oregon. Congratulations on a Big Ten championship. Broadcaster to broadcaster, those are fun.
It's a cool moment, without a doubt. It was probably one of my signature moments so far of the broadcasting career. Still a lot left to happen, but that was definitely a top three for sure.
I was going to ask you that. Like, where does it rank now? Because you got to follow this team all year long, was on the road.
Yeah.
That's a fun deal.
No, I mean, like, I think that's what made it so fun was that I've been with this team since day one, and so there's just so much anticipation that gets built up that you're like, you feel emotionally invested in it. When it happened, I was like, wow, this is incredible. And to go on the field after and see everybody giving hugs and, coaches, smiling and everything, like that's just it's such a cool moment to be a part of.
Yeah, look, it's a special thing when you follow a team. Because I've said this before, like, especially for you and your role, right? So Saul interns for us here around the Oregon Sports Network, works so closely with Quack Video and just everything that we do. Well, you've heard Saul's voice like on some Big Ten Plus calls. And remember, the charge when we produce the Big Ten Plus calls is be the neutral TV broadcaster. But now in your career, you got the chance to kind of be the voice of a team. And I've said, everyone who's asked me, like, Joey, how come you haven't tried to go move on in your career, do something else? I'm like, because I like rooting for the Ducks, right? Like, I've chosen that to be part of my career. We'll see what you decide, Saul, but I know that had to be kind of rewarding and fun. No doubt.
It did. I mean, like you said, I think that the chance to be kind of that hometown fan for a moment, that was exactly what I was in that second. I was rocking a Duck earpiece. I was, screaming, saying the Ducks won the Big Ten championship. Like, that was a lot of fun. And, there's benefits of being the neutral guy and the hometown guy. Neutral, you get to be a part of some of the bigger games, some of the better action, but with the hometown call, I mean, you just get to be a fan, really tap into that emotion that a lot of broadcasters really don't get a chance to do.
Yeah, it's an awesome experience. There's no doubt, and that's what makes it so fun for us that are just along for the ride, right? We don't influence what happens on the field, but you get to have a lot of fun as a result of it. Okay, now to review the season, let's zoom out. Like if I told you when we had this conversation in January, February, hey, here's where the Ducks are going to be, what would you have said?
There's no doubt about it that they would be here right now. I think that where this team started, obviously, again, a lot of questions coming into the season as to how were they going to do, because it was such a young team, it was such a very new team as well. How was the synergy going to be? But I think over time they got better and better as the season went on. And I mean, obviously, moving to the Big Ten, I said this on the broadcast, there was a lot of new pieces coming into this year. And the question was going to be, okay, how are you going to deal with that? How are you going to deal with the long travel, playing all these games, 2,000-3,000 miles away from Oregon? But they handled it well. There's a lot of veterans on this team that really kind of push the younger players to exceed expectations and to really not worry about the next game, not worry about the next series, really just focus in on one game at a time. And obviously Coach Lombardi, is always really great about making sure that their teams are mentally prepared and also physically too, because it's a very, very long season. It's very hard to go undefeated, but what's made this Duck team so special is that they haven't lost 2 in a row. And that's just a huge thing that you want having a postseason is, okay, you lose one, you're going to lose in softball. There's no question about that. You're going to lose in softball. You're going to lose in baseball. How can you bounce back? How can you, maintain that level of consistency? I think for the Ducks so far, that's exactly where you want to be heading into postseason.
You bring up an amazing statistic, though, about not losing 2 in a row, right? Like, I talk about that in all sports, but particularly on the diamond. Like, the old cliche, right? We've talked about it on baseball this year, right? You're only as good as your next starting pitcher. Well, in softball, sometimes you're as good as the same starting pitcher that went the day before, but the depth of the team, and I bring up pitching because we saw that from Elise Sokolski this past weekend.
Yeah.
I mean, Elise showed, like, hey, she's a force to be reckoned with in the circle.
Yeah. No, honestly, like, Elise is probably on another level right now. And I think she's getting up to that point where Lindsay was about midway through conference play. And obviously, again, Lindsay is going to be Lindsay. Obviously, this past weekend wasn't her best, but you got to think about it. She's had a long season. She's pitched 30 innings over what she pitched last year when she transferred from Virginia Tech. And also, too, she's pitched in a lot of high-intensity games. Most of the top 25 matchups that Oregon has had, she's been the Game 1 starter and also the Game 3 starter. And that's a lot, both physically and mentally, to try to go out there and be Lindsay. But she's lived up to the hype to this point. This past weekend against Michigan State, you can tell that, all right, it's going to, it's a little taxing on the body and, you're getting into postseason play, but Elise was able to step up, and that's so huge, again, going into postseason play that you don't have just one pitcher that you can rely on. You have 2, and then obviously not even just the 2, you have 2 other pitchers as well in Taylor and Stacy that can easily come in and replace Elise or Lindsay because, again, the rotation is going to be super key if the Ducks want to make a deep postseason play.
And now we're into postseason play, right? Talk about a Big Ten championship. Talk about the regular season, the conference season that, for the most part, went Oregon's way. We continue with Saul Galvan. He's going to have the call for the Big Ten tournament. So break it down for us. Big Ten tournament, you've done the deep dive. It's a different kind of thing when you get to this time of the year.
Yeah, it is. And again, the nice thing too is for Oregon is there's no pressure to go out and win the whole thing. Some teams, need to win this in order to make it to the postseason. Some teams are around in the bubble and they need a good performance. For Oregon right now, I mean, they're a virtual lock in the NCAA tournament. But there is a little bit of pressure to try to win this tournament or at least make it to the finals to try to host next week and maybe even the Super Regional. So there is a little bit of pressure, but I think that not having that immaculate pressure of, we need to win this thing to get in the postseason, it's definitely going to take a lot, and it's going to allow them to play a lot more freer in this tournament because this is going to be a pretty good tournament. There's a lot of good teams, maybe not in the top 4, and the way that the path is going to be for Oregon, it's probably going to be, Ohio State. It might be Wisconsin or Michigan. It might be UCLA in the final. There's a lot of teams that Oregon has played already. They've proven that they can win, but as we know in postseason, it's win or lose. There's no tomorrow, there's no next game. It's just what happens today.
Ducks are the number 1 seed. Saul Galvan will have the call coming up. If you're going to be chatting with us live on a Thursday for Duck Insider, well, then you might be flipping over to some Oregon softball. We'll be doing some multi-screening for you for that one. We're talking on a Tuesday, airing on a Wednesday here with the voice of the Duck softball team, Saul Galvan. Wisconsin, Michigan. What do you think?
Michigan.
Okay.
Yeah.
Then Oregon, Michigan. We don't know for sure. We don't know what's going to happen. But the fact is that the Ducks are the 1 seed for a reason. That's the point I want to make.
Yeah, exactly. And again, it gives you that confidence of, okay, you're the 1 seed. And, sometimes it kind of hurts a team when you're the 1 seed. You're like, all right, we're better than everybody else. But I feel like this team has been so good at maintaining a neutral mindset all season long that they could have been the 12th seed in the tournament and they would have acted like the 1 seed. Like, that's just where this team is at right now. That the 1 seed, sure, it's great to be the number 1 team in the Big Ten, but when you go in there, you can't act like a 1 seed. You have to act like an underdog every single game because those are the teams that usually come out as victorious in the tournament.
UCLA is the 2, Nebraska is the 3, Ohio State is the 4. The championship game is set for May 10th, a 1 o'clock start.
There you go. 3-hour time difference.
I got to convert the time zones.
That's hard.
Well, so, I mean, you're from Chicago. Are you better at converting time zones?
Well, and again, like, it's Indiana and Chicago are like on the fine line of, okay, you go to Indiana, it's 3 hours from here, and then Chicago it's 2 hours. So I'm always trying to like decipher it in my head, like, is it 2 hours? Is it 3 hours? Like, where's that line? Because I mean, when you cross over to Indiana, there's still a little part of it that's the 2-hour time zone, and then you get more into the state, and then it turns to 3 hours. So I mean, it's confusing even for a Midwester like me.
Okay, so because I've said this, like, you are my gauge for Central Time, Eastern Time. The carve outs of time zones better than I do. But the fact is that Oregon will be in action in the middle of the day here moving forward for the next few days. Yeah, I still am figuring out the time zones. Thanks to Saul Galvan. We're going to continue our conversation with the voice of the Ducks softball team, previewing postseason. Chatting with Saul next on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield.
At Shadow Hills Country Club, we're more than just an award-winning golf course and practice facility. Our events team offers all-inclusive event pricing that allows us to take care of all the details while you enjoy your event. Our indoor and outdoor venues offer you a wide variety of fully staffed options that put the focus on you. From weddings to business and social events, at Shadow Hills Country Club Events Center, you get the benefits of a resort atmosphere and amenities in a peaceful country setting, just minutes from downtown Eugene. Call for a tour today or visit shadowhillsevents.com.
As a local community credit union founded by teachers, OnPoint is committed to supporting the students and faculty at the University of Oregon. And on game day, we're right there with you, on the field, in the bleachers, and in the classrooms. Drop by our local branch today and discover the many ways OnPoint can help support your financial well-being. OnPoint Community Credit Union. People are the point. Federally insured by NCUA. Equal housing opportunity.
Back to the Country Financial Studios in 60 seconds. This is Duck Insider from Learfield.
You say you never give in to a meltdown and never fill your feed with kid photos. You say you'd never put a pacifier in your mouth to clean it and never let them run wild through the grocery store. So when you say you'd never let them get into a car without you there, no, it can happen. 1 in 4 hot car deaths happen when a kid gets into an unlocked car and can't get out. Never happens. Before you leave the car, always stop, look, lock. Brought to you by NHTSA and the Ad Council.
The possibility of lung cancer can be pretty scary, especially if you're one of approximately 8 million current or former smokers at high risk. That's why SaveByTheScan.org wants you to know that now there's a breakthrough low-dose CT scan that can detect lung cancer early, and it only takes 60 seconds. You stop smoking, now start screening. For an easy quiz to see if you're eligible, visit SaveByTheScan.org. It could save your life. SaveByTheScan.org is brought to you by the American Lung Association's Lung Force Initiative and the Ad Council.
It's great to hear Shout always, but man, it was fun to see and relive the spring game and just think about how amazing Shout was for a spring game. We're going to do that coming up. Oregon softball postseason begins in the Big Ten tournament, coming at you at 1:30 tomorrow, televised on the Big Ten Network. Either Michigan or Wisconsin will be the opponent, depending on the outcome today. We continue our conversation with Saul Galvan, who will have the hometown call on KWVA for all the Oregon softball postseason games, previewing Duck softball postseason with Saul. I've been talking about this on the show. So, I feel like Oregon has proven they should be a bona fide regional host, and I think should be a top 8 seed in line to host a super regional. I just think the resume stacks up that way, the way the Ducks performed in non-conference, winning a conference. I get it. The Pac-12 had a higher RPI last year, for example, in overall conference RPI than the Big Ten does this year. But the Ducks have been consistently one of the best teams in the country, have passed the eye test. I think the metrics back it up. That's my opinion. What do you think? You're dialed into this.
I think so, too. I think that they are, locked in for a regional. Super regional, I think, is on the cusp. I think it's going to depend on how they shape up in the Big Ten tournament. But, I mean, again, you look at the resume of what this team has done all season long. They've just been successful from the jump. And they started with, 5 or 6 top 25 wins in non-conference play. They took the series against UCLA. That was probably their hardest series in Big Ten. They swept a lot of Big Ten series as well. And again, these are all things that Oregon was going to be challenged with in the beginning of the season was, okay, you're going to Minnesota, you're going to Rutgers, you're going to these places that you've never played before. How are you going to deal with all those conditions? But they have handled it with poise, and they've come out very successfully at every single series. So I just don't see right now how you can't say that this team isn't deserving of hosting a regional or super regional. I think that's what they built themselves into, being the number 1 seed in the Big Ten and also a top 5 team in the nation.
Kedri Lushar is up for National Player of the Year. And I think if heading into the season, we probably all would have thought that Kai Lushar would be on that list. And I think that speaks to, 1, how good Kai has been, but also, 2, the consistency that the season that Kedri Lushar has put together. Put that in context for someone who's followed it all season. I think she's got a good chance to win the award and be an All-American.
I think so. I think there's no one more deserving of that award than Kedri. And again, you look at the improvement from last year. She was only hitting 192 last season. To go from that to hitting 460, I think was the last time I checked. She's also got over 60 hits. Last year, I think she had around 5 or 6. Like, the numbers last year were just not Kedri at all. But this year, she added a ton of strength in the offseason, and her sister was saying it all the time. Like, she put in the work. She was ready for this moment. And again, from the start, even in those bigger games, she's been the main consistent factor outside of Riley McCoy and her sister Kai. Like, those 3 on their own have really been the anchor for this team. And I think with Kedri, again, it's not just the improvement in the lineup, but also the defense too. She's making top 10 plays. They're ending on Sports Center. So anytime she just goes out there on the field, she is amazing to watch. And I definitely think she's deserving of that top 25 recognition in the nation.
And Lindsey Grimes up for National Pitcher of the Year too. I mean, that just puts in context. Like, there's no surprise, right, that you have good players when you go 47-6. You win your conference at 19-3. So that's what's ahead for Oregon softball. Now, for you, we zoomed out. Now zoom in if you could. What are the keys to success? What's the team been saying? What do you think here down the stretch in postseason?
Again, it's all about having that neutral mindset. It's all about taking it one game at a time, because you start looking ahead, you start worrying about too many things, and it just creates kind of this, I don't want to say like mind break, or, just it doesn't allow you to play as free as they want to. And I think that's what this team has done all season long. And Paige and Nikki talked about it last week that, really they just treat it like playing wiffle ball in the backyard. And that's such an interesting thing to say for a top 5 team is, okay, they're thinking it like that, where they're playing so free and, they're just treating it like they were little kids and, playing with their dads. Like, that's such an interesting perspective to have. But I think that's what's been so key about this team is that they just go out there, they play Oregon softball, they have their own identity, and they don't really try to match up with anybody else. They just try to go out there and win.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing this team on the national stage even more so, because, I mean, we've all seen the post-game interviews that they do. They have fun with it, This is what this team is. Like, they just have that vibe about them. And I feel like on the national stage, there's going to be a lot of casual Duck fans, maybe even non-Duck fans that are just softball fans that are going to see this squad and be like, boy, how do you not root for them? That's how I feel.
Yeah.
I mean, we're biased, right? We've been around them. We've seen it. I feel like now it is kind of a chance for everybody else to see that over the next few weeks.
Yeah, and again, a lot of that comes from it being a relatively younger team, but even some of the older players too, like Kai and Paige, they like to have fun. Like, even though they're veterans on this team, even though they're captains of the squad, like, they still like to bring the intensity. They still like to have a lot of fun. They're always joking around with each other, and I mean, that just works well with this kind of younger team. They're not, putting so much pressure on them that, all right, they have to go out and deliver. They're just saying, hey, go do you, go be, who you are, go be Steph, go be Riley. It's not, this pressure of, having to go out there and hit 16 home runs. It's like, okay, just go put the bat on the ball. I think that's what makes this team so unique right now, is that it's just very 2 different sides, but they're working really well together.
Oregon in the Big Ten tournament. Saul Galvan will have the hometown call on the student radio station, KWVA, KWVAradio.org if you want to pull up the stream. You know what your setup's going to be like? Have you ever been to this area before?
No, Purdue's the one school I have not been to yet, so I'm
we're
very excited.
It off the list.
But Greg Walker gave me a good insight, so it should be a good setup, hopefully. Maybe I'll have a booth. I've not had a booth yet this season outside of the Jane.
Well, the Jane is special.
The Jane is special. I will say that. The Jane is probably – well, not probably. It is the best softball stadium that I've been to so far.
Yeah, it's off the charts. There's no doubt. So no matter what, though, a broadcast will be on the air. Saul Galvan will have the call. Give fans the breakdown. Pre-game, what do you guys got going on at KWVA?
Yeah, pre-game will be about 20 minutes beforehand. I'll try to get a recording in with Coach Lombardi. I always like to do that beforehand. Maybe get a player or two before as well. And then, we're ready to rock and roll. I'm excited for this. This is going to be just an amazing opportunity. The whole season's been fun so far, but they all said it after Saturday's win. Even though they were doing the apple cider shower, they're not done. This is a team that doesn't want to make the regional, doesn't want to make the super regional. They want to go out there and make the Women's College World Series and win the whole thing.
And you'll be there the whole time.
I will be.
I love it. Love it. All right, hey, safe travels again. We're talking on a Tuesday, airing on a Wednesday because he just took a midterm that he aced. And then aced.
Ask me in a week.
Saul Galvan took a midterm on his way to the airport, checking in with us to give us a preview of the Big Ten softball tournament. Oregon in the Big Ten softball tournament, officially playing Game 7 coming up at 1:30 on Thursday. So we'll have the call. Thanks, buddy.
Appreciate it.
He'll have pregame on KWVA tomorrow, and I encourage you to tune in. Saul does a great job for Oregon softball and has been around the team working with Coach Lombardi, and he's had a lot of fun following him. And I always say the broadcaster sounds good when the team's good. Team's really good. That was Saul Galvan that we were talking with. When we come back, good news for Oregon golf today. Yeah. More coming on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield.
Hey Duck fans, at Country Financial, they make insurance easy. Whether you're shopping for home, auto, or more, their representatives will take the time to understand your specific needs and explain what options work best for you. Worry less and feel more confident knowing you're covered. Visit countryfinancial.com to get started today. Experience more with Country Financial. Auto and home insurance policies issued by Country Mutual Insurance Company, Country Preferred Insurance Company, and Country Casualty Insurance Company, Bloomington, Illinois.
As a local community credit union founded by teachers, OnPoint is committed to supporting the students and faculty at the University of Oregon. And on game day, we're right there with you, on the field, in the bleachers, and in the classrooms. Drop by our local branch today and discover the many ways OnPoint can help support your financial well-being. OnPoint Community Credit Union. People are the point. Federally insured by NCUA. Equal housing opportunity.
Duck Insider continues from the Country Financial Studios in 1 minute on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield.
I'm a pretty great multitasker. I can wash dishes and do laundry. I can roller skate while walking my dog. I can even order lunch while doing my homework. But I can't use my phone while driving. A distracted driver is one of the leading causes of death in the United States. So when it comes to driving, please, don't be a multitasker.
Don't drive distracted. A message brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration, Project Yellow Light, and the Ad Council.
All right, son. Time to put out this campfire.
Dad, we learned about this in school.
Oh, did you now? Okay. What's first?
Smokey Bear said to.
First drown it with a bucket of water, then stir it with a shovel.
Wow, you sound just like him.
Then he said,
if it's still warm, then do it again.
Where can I learn all this?
It's all on SmokeyBear.com with other wildfire prevention tips, because only you can prevent wildfires.
Brought to you by the USDA Forest Service, your state forester, and the Ad Council.
Great news for Oregon women's golf. The Ducks ran away with their regional. It's just gone final. They are the team champions in the NCAA Gold Canyon Regional. Ran away with it in round 3. Kiara Romero ran away with it as an individual. More details coming as the final scores come in on GoDucks.com. And we'll have a full review for you on the show tomorrow. Meanwhile, we did get a chance today, thanks to the great Oregon football video crew, reviewing the spring game. You can never relive Autzen Stadium enough, right?
Oregon versus Oregon today. Iron sharpening iron. It's the spring game at Autzen Stadium. Around the country, a lot of programs are foregoing their spring games. Dan Lanning and the Ducks are embracing it. It really is a celebration of all things Oregon football.
When you walk out to the spring game and you see this environment, yeah, it's pretty cool, man. I mean, to your point, spring games are few and far between now. And the ones that have it, especially here in Autzen, show out.
It's a great Saturday in the spring here in Eugene.
So we'll have one team coached by Rich Brooks and Bucky Irving.
Hey man, just go out here, play fast, play for one another.
Show everybody what you've been working your ass off on all spring, all off season to get to this point. So go out, play for each other, play your ass off, and swarm to the ball.
Nick Aliotti for the Fighting Ducks, along with Christian Gonzalez.
Men, honored to be here. Play physically, protect the football, and win in the red zone. Yeah. All the best. Good luck. Yeah!
Just about ready for the Oregon spring football game, and the pageantry of a regular season game. You got to have a motorcycle, and you got to have the duck.
How we going, man?
Good job. You deferred?
Yep, don't want the ball. Second half. We want defense up first, man.
Because I lost. Oh, man, you should have went with what you felt.
Novosad cuts it loose again, looking for more again, and Moore brought it in.
What a grab by Moore. Oh, my goodness, the freshman. Heck of a catch. Give to Lamar up the middle, makes a man miss, breaks away across the 10, into the end zone. Jaden Lamar, touchdown. Lamar puts the Fighting Ducks on the board first. It's 7-0. Fighting Ducks strike first. Ball thrown to the left. Nice catch by Gresham.
But these receivers, the little things that they've done today are really impressive.
I think it's like 2 more drives, then we start. Me and Bucky start coaching.
Oh, you gonna get to call plays?
Huh?
Are you calling plays?
The defense.
You remember the playbook still?
Hell no.
So I'm gonna have to go 12 to this. You know, stay 11. I can do the play for you.
We gotta get a rhythm. Yeah, we gotta get a rhythm. Yeah.
Kenyon Sadiq. Oh! Goes way up, and he gets the first down.
Ball came out. Ball came out. Blake Purchase racing the other way. Moore trying to catch him. Purchase stiff arms Moore. Goes into the end zone. Blake Purchase. Scoop and score. Fighting Ducks increase the lead.
No, it all started with the tackle by Iffy. Iffy filled the hole, made a great play from a corner position. Blake was there to pick it up and do the rest. Yeah! Offense, we got the out. You called that play? I called that series. Called that series, 3 and out. Yeah. I was on the road, then we took a sack, man. What do you got? We're gonna go. Yep.
Dante Moore this time with some touch and creating space. Jurian Dickey brings it down.
Come on! And now. Oh, make a miss.
Touchdown from Jay Harris. It's a 1-score game.
Hey, I'm trying to dial it up just a little bit.
You know you make me wanna.
It's such a big deal for this community. You see how they've showed out here today.
You ain't seen this, huh? I said you ain't seen this yet. This your first one. No, this is tough. Wait till in season it's even better. You look so good to me. You know you make me wanna.
Fan base in mid-season form, always a party here in Eugene.
That's at a spring game. Now just imagine what that's going to be like next fall. Oh, so much fun.
Hit it. Go. When you see it, just hit it. Be decisive on your decision. You already made a decision. Don't be chopping. You like bracing to get hit. As a running back, bro, you just gotta have a short area burst, bro. Hey, we got a score right here, yo. Sling that thing, Brock Purdy. Sling that thing, Brock Purdy. Ah! Come on, kid! Come on, kid!
The Combat Ducks have come all the way back to take the lead.
Get in there. Let's go!
Jay Harris.
Hey, go get that camera on Gonzo. Gonzo! Come on, bro. We can't lose, bro. Touchdown. Snap it! Hey, can we snap the ball? Touchdown.
The Fighting Ducks have a chance. They do.
Oh, yeah!
Yeah! Gresham is free, and he puts the Fighting Ducks back on top.
Yeah!
That's a fun ending to the spring game, huh?
Absolutely. All right. Damn, I missed.
Fighting Ducks defeat the Combat Ducks 24-20.
Hey, I'm 1-0. You got it. Hey, it's a champ right here. I'm 1-0, coaching Coretta. 1-0.
Thank you so much. I appreciate you for everything.
Appreciate y'all. Appreciate y'all.
They do a jersey swap with military members and former military after the game on the field. That's pretty cool.
They put on a really fun preview for this team, for this amazing crowd, and that has stood out to me as well. Perfect day here in Eugene to come out and cheer on their favorite program.
Appreciate what you just experienced. Nobody in the nation has a spring game like us. That's unbelievable. Shout in the third quarter, like that's different. And game day is even crazier for you guys that haven't experienced it, right? So get ready for that moment. But unbelievable job. Elite spring, man. Put together a lot of great days. We can't stop now. We can't stop now. Think about what you want and what it takes to get it. We didn't just finish spring, we finished that step. We're still climbing.
Fun to relive the spring game. That was a lot of fun just to see a little bit more of Bucky versus Gonzo. They had some fun with that. And I mean, you heard me say it to Jorgie, like, what a good ending to the spring game. You know, you get some fun, the back and forth, the competition. But, you know, it's funny. Like, I was talking to Jerry about it. Like, in the spring game, you're basically calling the game as if you just got a smile on your face the whole time because it's just fun to be there. Now, you get to the fall and things get a little more stressful. You might not be broadcasting the game with that smile all the time. You hope you do, but it's a little tense sometimes. Women's soccer's got an official schedule. You can view it on GoDucks.com. Just came out today. The season begins on August 14th at home against Weber State. Women's soccer season going to be here before we know it. See you tomorrow.
Hi, I'm Ryan Blaney, a third-generation racer.
Yep, no problem, Joey.
A lot of my time going fast. But when my grandpa was diagnosed with Alzheimer's, it was a very unexpected bump in the road for us. It's important to notice if older family members are acting differently or having trouble with routine tasks. Early detection of Alzheimer's can give your family time to explore support services and access available treatments. If you or your family are noticing changes, it could be Alzheimer's. Talk about seeing a doctor together. Visit alz.org/time-to-talk.